What's going on, guys? It's Chris Batchelor here, bringing you a Thursday inventory video. It is currently November the 11th, Remembrance Day. Uh, let's get into the inventory review. Starting out with the Legacy Engram, it's the primary weapon, so Year 1, Suros, Regime, Red Death, Hawkmoon, Thorn, The Last Word. You can get them all. Remembering that raid weapons, Vex Mythoclast, and Necrochasm do not count. Twilight Garrison for the Titans at Disciplines and Strength 86-76. I'd honestly say re-roll this wholeheartedly. If you have a full set of Intellect and Discipline gear, and then have this Twilight Garrison on, you should be okay for having like Tier 5 Intellect, Discipline, and Tier 1 Strength, possibly. But anyway, getting in, the main perk is Tactical Air Support. I'm a massive fan of this perk. It's extraordinarily helpful, really helpful with Titan skating using increased control. And honestly, it can be great to juke people out, mess up people's aims in PvP, and honestly great for general movement in PvE and PvP. So we have increased discipline and strength. We have special ammo and heavy ammo, carry more ammo for all heavy weapon types including swords and the Sleeper Simulant Fusion Rifle. Carry more ammo for all special weapon types, so snipers, sidearms, shotguns, fusion rifles, and I think this actually still applies to Sleeper Simulant anyway, but I could be wrong about that. We have Solar Recovery, increased recovery for 5 seconds after taking Solar Splash damage, and Solar Armor. So if you have that whole Tier 11 setup I mentioned of Tier 5 Intellect, Discipline, and Tier 1 Strength, you can use Solar Armor here on top of the Discipline and Strength with Stoke the Forge and Simmering Flames, and you can actually have then a sort of Tier 14 style setup with roughly like Tier 4 mimicked stats because of the reduced melee cooldown from Stoke the Forge, which is, by the way, awesome. Anyway, for the hunters, we have the Frostee 5 boots. Intellect and Discipline of 70-78. That's actually really, really good. But I've got a little combo that you guys might like. Getting into the ones we have here, we have Rapid Cooldown, tighter turn radius while sprinting, increased grenade and melee regeneration while sprinting. Now, there is a bug with this. I don't know if it's been fixed yet, but basically this doesn't agree with like your tier cooldown stats. So if you have Tier 5 Discipline and Strength and you have the Frostee 5s on, if the bug is still active, then it doesn't consider you have Tier 5 and it doesn't actually take that cooldown. Instead, it'll just give you the rapid cooldown whenever you're sprinting, and when you're not sprinting, it'll go back to Tier 5. So if the bug has been fixed, then this should stack on top of Tier 5, which is honestly incredible. But anyway, we have increased Intellect and Discipline at the moment. This is still a good setup, but we have sidearm ammo and machine gun ammo, and then we have Void Double Down. Now, the setup I'm wanting to talk about is Discipline and Strength with the Memory of Fellwinter. Now, Night Stalkers are pretty potent with snipers and shotguns because of Shade Step. You can Shade Step right after a snipe to try and dodge someone. If you miss a shot, you can Shade Step back into cover and try and get a new angle. And with a shotgun, you can go into your shotgun, Shade Step, close the distance on another person, and shotgun them too. But there's an even bigger a little addition to the combo you can use a little bit later on if you want to stick with, if you can get Intellect, Discipline with sniper ammo or shotgun ammo. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Right now we want to go into the Warlock armor, which is the Apotheosis Veil with an Intellect stat of 100. That's pretty good. The main perk is Private Reserves. Immediately regenerate health, melee, and grenade energy upon activating your super. This will bring your health all the way back up to full. It doesn't like start regeneration, it just literally gives it all back in 1 instant second. The melee grenade energy, that's fantastic for Sunsingers. Not too good if you're self-resing because you start with full health, but if you've used your melee and grenade, then that self-res will give you back your grenade and melee again. But when you're respawning, you have the animation, it's giving you your grenade and melee energy back then as well, so it still might not be preferable. Now we have increases to strength as well here. The strength stat would be roughly around 20, I believe, roughly 20 to 25 in this case. And then of course the increase in intellect, which brings it up to 100. Ashes to Assets and Heavy Lifting. Ashes to Asset is great in PvP, the best perk you can have on a helmet in PvP. And then we have Infusion, which makes this incredibly good. Infusion is one of those clutch perks that helps out perfectly in Crucible. I've got a couple plays with Infusion myself where I'm fairly weak, and leading someone into a choke point, picking up orbs on the way to actually get my health back so I can challenge them. Which is, honestly, Infusion is one of those perks that if you have it, you know how to use it. And it's one of those perks that will always help you. Now, getting back to my Frostee combo, we have the Monte Carlo. Now, the Monte Carlo is a very solid auto rifle right now. Getting in, we have CQB Ballistics, Smart Drift Control, and Aggressive Ballistics. I recommend going with either CQB Ballistics or Aggressive Ballistics for the increased impact. Now, first of all, we have Hip Fire. This weapon has bonus accuracy while firing from the hip. This actually is really nice on Monte Carlo. Pretty good for shotgun rushers that are coming up from above, of hip firing them while still having access to your radar to see if someone's at the left or right of you or behind you or whatever. It makes it really useful. Now, for the optionals, we have high caliber rounds, which honestly I recommend this in PvP. High caliber rounds is one of those things that is great for messing up the sniper's aim, but if you use them, you'll only realize how annoying they are once they're used against you. High caliber rounds are fantastic for dealing with snipers on top of the flinch that they already get, so you know you can do a little bit of countering here. Next up we have Send It, increasing range and accuracy. Makes the weapon a bit harder to handle and decreases your carried ammo capacity. The carried ammo capacity is still roughly over 400, so you're probably never going to run out of ammo in the Crucible, and you shouldn't really run out of ammo in PvE either. Now, the last perk we have here is Field Scout. I recommend using Field Scout in PvE, but, you know, it's still up to you. Send It and high caliber rounds in PvP, Field Scout PvE. The main perk here is the Monte Carlo method. Dealing damage with this weapon reduces your melee cooldown and grants a chance to fully charge your melee ability with each kill. This has a lot of good uses here. If you're a fan of no backup plans Defender Titan, you can use Monte Carlo with a shotgun. I didn't mean that. You can use Monte Carlo with a shotgun and keep getting your force barriers back super quick. And when you get your super, of course, you can get another melee. Now, if you're a Warlock, you can end up using this with a Stormcaller. If you're a Hunter, you can use this with throwing knives as a gunslinger or smoke bombs as a Night Stalker, and this is where the combo I mentioned earlier gets back to. With the Frosties, that's what I'm going to call them from now on, if you have Discipline and Strength, you're good. Monte Carlo will always help you there with Strength. But if you're using Intellect Discipline with Sniper ammo or Shotgun ammo, you can be using Monte Carlo and getting a lot of melee energy back, and you can use smoke bombs that act as small little trip mines, so when they get into the radius, the smoke bomb will detonate after 10 seconds, within a 10-second time frame, better yet. Or you can be using Envenomed smoke bombs to deal a little bit of extra damage, or even using Vanish and smoke bombs in, I don't know, if you're playing some more of a team-based game mode, but I would recommend using Snare in your Night Stalker tree for this, and this gets into the whole Night Stalker combo, the Frosties, Monte Carlo, Night Stalker with the Memory of Fellwinter, and either Keen Scout or Shade Step. It's definitely a very powerful combo, and I'm going to be using it myself later. Something I'll show you real quick about the Monte Carlo is I'll show you the ornaments. So this is Super Spy, and this is Royal Flush. Okay, now for the Curios, we have the Plasma Drive and Emerald Coil Drives. We have the Heavy Ammo Synthesis at 1 Strange Coin for 3 packs of Heavy, the 3 of Coins at 5 3 of Coins for 7 Strange Coins, and the Glass Needles at 3 Strange Coins, 3 Motes of Light, and 1 Exotic Shard. I'm going to be buying another set of these here. And then finally the Mote of Light Exchange. Now that's been your inventory review, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. It's been a while since I've actually done one of these videos. Goddamn. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.